Okay, so this is day two of me doing my 30 days of waking up in all the areas. So I wanted to kind of pay my life forward in this space. And so I don't know about you, but have you ever like said to yourself, I'm gonna wait until or I will start this when um like you just kind of like put your life on hold because you're waiting for all your ducks to get in a row or you're waiting just for the stars to align or whatever it is. But I'm just wondering, like, how many of you are saying to yourself, I'll start when? I'll start when the children are grown. I will start when the money is right. I will start when I'm married. I will start when I feel confident. I'm just wondering how many of us women who are of a certain age, we just kind of like have our life on hold and we're waiting for the right moment to step into the light. 30 days of this rediscovering myself, just hanging there with me, because one of the things that I've caught myself saying for sure is that I will decorate my home when I own it, not when I'm a renter. I found myself saying things like when I get the right luggage, because I want to be, chic and fashionable. I will take that solo trip. I will buy the clothes when I am a certain size. And I'm just wondering, like, how many of us are really out here just really waiting for life to get started. I mean, again, I'm a woman of a certain age and I'm rediscovering myself and I'm just paying myself forward in this space because, even when it comes to like me returning to school, it was like I want to wait until, my son finishes college or I'm sorry, somebody's trying to call me. um just always just trying to wait for the right moment for all of the things to line up the way you want. Like even right now, like I'm sitting out front, it is hilarious because I never thought that I would be this vulnerable to have people walking by and seeing me sit in front of my door with a camera in my face and a mic in my hand. But I'm just over it. I'm so over waiting until the right moment. Like I'm just done with that. A couple of years ago, 2018 to be exact, I wrote my first devotional book and it's called I Need a Refill. And I actually did it because I just wanted to see if I can actually finish a project like that. So it was more so like a gift that I gave to myself. Okay. Now, years later, this is 2026. So back in 2023, I was at a friend's event. And while I was at the event, this gentleman was speaking and I went up for prayer and he began to speak a word over my life. And he said, it's time for you to pick your pen back up. Well, it was like 3 years later, like literally the spring of 2026, that I actually no, a couple months prior to that, I started writing again. I released the first book in March of 2026. And then I released the second one the day before Mother's Day of 2026. And then I released the most recent one, um, I want to say July 9th, and I'm in the middle of writing the fourth one. So the prayer, the goal is, and that's not what this video is about, but the prayer and the goal was for me to just pick my pen back up. And I just started writing. So, the reality of it is that one day you realize that, when is it ever going to be good enough? When? When is it ever going to be good enough? When is it ever going to be exactly what you believe it's supposed to be? And while you're waiting for the stars to align and while you're waiting for that one day win, time is moving on. Time that you cannot get back. Quite honestly, I'm actually just discovering that time is my greatest currency. So, for me, I was living in the win. And while it wasn't necessarily like I don't know, like, you just like waiting for financial freedom. Well, if you watch the first video, you'll see that I'm already navigating through poor decision making. So boo-hoo for me, right? Pull your big girl pants up and keep moving on because the reality is that you made some decisions and those decisions put you in the situation that it put you in. And so now are you still gonna sit back and you're gonna wait for one day win? Um, you know, I I do my best with what's in my hand. That's the reality. I understand that I have a responsibility to be an adult and keep a roof over my head. And I'm still providing for my youngest, who is starting his third year in college. But certainly, I've raised my children to know how to go out and make it happen. My daughter is adulting, and I thank God for that. My son, his second semester of his freshman year, he got a job and he's been working the job, and his job has been helping him to pay his car payment. And I am grateful for that because, while I was trying to be big ball mama, I decided, oh, we're going to have two car payments because I want my son to have his own car. Another video for another time. But at any rate, he's working. And so they invited him back to work another year. So he worked his sophomore year, and then he decided that he wanted to apply for a more director kind of role on campus. Well, guess what? It was a small pool, but mama prayed. I prayed for him. So he's not waiting for one day when. So clearly, I put something in him that showed him, go on and get it. Don't wait. He applied, he got the job, and now he's going into his junior year and he's going to be like a residence director. And what does that do for both of us? That decreases whatever that tuition payment was going to be because now he's got free room and board. And I just thank God that whatever it is that I had in me, I put in him because he was not waiting for one day. I shared with you all how I am dating. I'm dating exclusively. And, maybe I'll come back and I'll talk about it, or you can go back and look at some other videos a little over a year ago when I was doing something like 90 days or 30 days to Valentine's Day or whatever it was. We get all nostalgic and all the things. But the reality of it is that I'm dating, I'm collecting the data, I'm figuring some things out. Um, and I want to be married, but even in that, I'm asking myself, do I know the difference between marriage, and do I know the difference between being a wife? But am I waiting for one day when I feel like I'm ready? No, I'm dating. I put myself back out there after, not even going to go there, after so many years in being in a relationship that I thought was going to lead to marriage, and all the signs were there, but I was still waiting for one day when. I hope you catch what I'm putting down. Um, I've been on this health journey, and I've lost now 34, 35 pounds, but it's been over a course of 3 years. Let me be clear, 3 years. I've been up, I've been down. I've remained the same weight. But when I look back at when I gained the weight, I could see myself waiting until one day when I would feel confident, one day when I would be willing to, step in front of a group of people and speak and encourage them, because I didn't want them to know that I had gained all this weight because of my personal challenges that I was having. I was on the sideline waiting to lose weight. Now here I am, 34 pounds lighter, and I'm just wondering, why didn't I just go ahead and do the thing? But anyway, I'm in full-time ministry, and that's another video for another time, because I was a school administrator, a school teacher, and I was great at it, and the doors started to close. I will give that testimony another time. I tell people all the time, you know, when they say I'm called to be in full-time ministry, I'm like, honey, you'll find out. You will find out if you are called to ministry, because that yoke, it'll grab you up around your neck. And yeah, so waiting for ministry to slow down. It doesn't. The calls don't stop. To care for people, it doesn't stop. Even when you're off, you are still somehow involved in ministry. And don't live in an area where people see you at the mall and you just trying to be regular, and they just walking up to you, asking for prayer. It just does not stop. It doesn't stop. And I want to be clear, I don't have any regrets around any of the things. I'm just talking because I'm discovering that I have been waiting for the stars to align. I have been waiting for the money to be in the bank account. I have been waiting to be married. I have been waiting to lose the weight before I actually start to enjoy and show up for my life. No, we done with that. We're done with that. Um, yeah, and stick with me, because this is day two, and I'm just gonna pay it all forward as I'm processing out loud in front of this camera with you all. So here we are, okay? Um, I confused preparation for living, because I don't want you to misunderstand that Yes, I had to prepare for the career in school and study and take the classes and take the exams and dust off my resume and all of the things. I spent years, okay, years in school, years pursuing a career. And then God called me to full time ministry. Can we just talk about that for a minute? Because the reality of it is that what I felt the Lord saying to me was, had you consulted me a little bit earlier, we could have probably saved some of them student loans that, eventually did get paid off thanks to the former administration. And I'm grateful for that. But we could have saved some of that time. But I was always thinking that I needed to follow this particular path. I think about when I was in the classroom and I was teaching and how I didn't have a whole lot of experience, but they still were inviting me to do other assignments. And so I was still trying to figure it out because I was thinking I wasn't ready. None of that time was wasted. None of the time of me pursuing the degree. Okay, so this is so crazy. I was talking my little heart out and yeah, the mic apparently it went out. It went out. This fly is driving me crazy. That is in my house right now. But anyway, so I was in the middle of talking about my calling and how God called me. And, I'm waiting until the right moment to decide, am I moving forward? Am I not moving forward? Am I not moving forward? Yeah, I'm so baffled right now because my life forward. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not waiting. I'm stepping on the light that God has put in front of me. And yeah, just come back tomorrow. That's all I can tell you. Come back tomorrow because I think tomorrow I'm going to be talking about how I have been living for everyone else. Yes, come back tomorrow. Bye.